Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're gonna take a look at my new favorite team for the Open Great League. This team was so much fun to play. Honestly, I can highly recommend it to you if you have those Pokemon. Of course, Cresselia can be a little bit tricky to obtain if you don't have that one yet. I think the best option would be most likely the Medicham to use here instead. You can maybe also use Noctowl, but this would make you weak against those Ice-type Pokemon. But otherwise, you're going to have a team here today, of course, with the Unovan Stunfisk. And I just like this Pokemon a lot right now. I feel like the recent buff also for Mud Bomb makes this Pokemon so much better. And I actually like to use it way more than the Galarian version, just because you're going to have double step moves, you're going to have great coverage against the meta. I mean, you're going to hit Noctowl, you're going to hit Registeel without even having to be careful about like the Focus Blast or anything like this, making this Pokemon just so much better in my opinion. I just loved playing with this Pokemon here. Otherwise, Cresselia going to be very important for this team, is going to be able to destroy a lot of water-type Pokemon still, thanks to the coverage of Grass Knot, and also just gives you coverage against those, Medicham. Medicham is a very common save swap right now in the meta, gives you a very hard check for this Pokemon, and so that's going to be very nice for this one as well. Save swap here going to be our Pelipper, which worked out pretty well here, but can be a little bit risky in the current meta, of course, as there is still the Lantern available. But you're going to have some decent answers for Lantern anyway, with Grass Knot on the Cresselia as well as a Mud Bomb on your lead here. So this team here worked out really well for me. You definitely have to kind of still keep your lead alive usually, which I didn't do in this game, which I don't think really hurt me here. But you kind of want to keep your lead alive for potential Steel-type Pokemon, because Cresselia cannot deal with them. If you would, for example, use the Medicham instead, you of course would have a better time against those Steel-type Pokemon. But like this here, we're going to be able to knock out the opponent's Noctowl and now gonna be able to win this game, because they're going to align their Medicham against my Cresselia, which is going to be very nice. Horrible lead here with the Altaria, because we are running Mudshot, which is in my opinion better, because against like flying type Pokemon you're still usually going to be able to win with the discharge damage, but there are a lot of Pokemon like the Registeel, especially in the 2-shield scenario. If you go 2 shields against the Registeel with the Unovan Stunfisk, you're going to be able to get out of this matchup with basically full health. Basically only lock-on damage going to hit you, because the adding damage from Mudshot going to put them basically into 2-shot range for Mud Bomb now, which is so much better now as well. So yeah. Honestly, I just like to have the Mudshot as a fast move. It's just going to give me a little bit more damage against all those steel types, which is helping out our Cresselia a little bit more than, for example, flying type Pokemon. So I enjoyed this a little bit more, but you can use both of them. Both of them are fine, both Mudshot as well as the Thundershock are both kind of fine for that one. Here we're going to be able to knock out the Jirachi and we're going to get out the Azumarill. And at this point of time, this game is over. Azumarill still has 2 shields, of course, but we are going to have super effective moves coming their way, as well as we're going to be able to bait them here, because they're definitely going to have to shield up. And as you're going to see here right now, our Cresselia are going to have a great time here, allowing the opponent to just click on the button on the top left side there and win us the game. Let's take a look at the next game. You're going to have an Azumarill in the lead. What you're going to do here is usually go ahead and try to go for 1 discharge, but they're going to swap out into their Altaria, allowing us to go for 1 discharge first, just to chip them a little bit so we can go ahead and go for a Moonblast with our Cresselia. And we will be able to see now, hopefully, some damage coming through here, and enough damage to put them into range where we can farm them all the way down. That's exactly what we want to have. If they want to go back into the Azumarill, they're going to face some Grass Knots coming their way. If they go into something else, like this Beedrill here, they're still going to get hit by a Moonblast. So we will see here now if this is going to land. It doesn't land, so the opponent going to shield this move up, which is honestly kinda an interesting move here, especially going for their own charge move here as well, which is going to be the Exeter. Doesn't seem to be really necessary here, but we're going to be able to now align our Pelipper against the opponent's Beedrill, which will be able to resist all the moves, so I have no idea why I shield this move up here. Honestly, zero idea there. It doesn't make any sense at all to shield this move up. They have Exeter, which is going to be resisted and usually Drill Run, so don't really know what I really try to do here, but we're going to be able to take a move from the opponent here. It's going to be a Hydro Pump as well, which is kind of funny. And we can now just go ahead, go into our Stunfisk, and now force the shield from the opponent while easily winning this game. Like, there's nothing my opponent can do here anymore. They don't know it, I guess, but they're going to try to win this game here still, which will not work out for them, as we're going to be able to outspeed them now for the discharge. Okay, we had some lag there, but yeah, now they realize, okay, there's nothing we can do there. Going to be able to win this game here. Next opponent, horrible lead for us. We're going to have the Walrein. I'm going to stay in here because I don't know how this player wants to play this matchup out. We're going to shield up the first move. It's going to be the Icicle Spear here, and we can go ahead and go for our own discharge. Both moves here would be of course super effective, so they're going to shield up this move and I can swap into my Pelipper. I should be able to take a charge move here right now, and let's take a look what we can do with this one. We're going to be able to now go ahead and go for the Hurricane, which they tried to catch on the Sableye, which didn't work out for them, allowing us to go for a Weather Ball here though. And we can still get to the Hurricane, forcing either a shield here or the knockout. I hope for the knockout, but they're going to shield this move up, sadly, forcing us to now go into our Stunfisk, and we have to try to kind of flip here, I feel like. I have to hope that they have something in the back that I can deal with. Let's take a look at this one. We're going to be able to go for a discharge here against the opponent, and that's going to put them into range where I can maybe mud shot them down, hopefully. Maybe I have to shield this move up here. I'm going to shield this move up here. And let's take a look what they're going to have in the back here after we will be able to farm them down. I swap out immediately, and it's going to be a Palo Sand. I should have stayed in first and went for a charge move, because then I would have been able to still outspeed them and go for some grass knots. But let's take a look what they're going to do here. They're going to go ahead and go for the Moonblast, and here you're going to see the advantage of having a Cresselia. It's still going to be able to go ahead and survive that one. I think I said Moonblast, I want to mean Shadow Ball, of course, yeah. And we will be able to now knock out the opponent that tried to swap in there with the War Rain, which is going to be very nice for us as they go ahead and go for their own Shadow Ball. They usually run double nukes, so I will be able to get to my charge move in time here, as this Mud Bomb was already loaded. And of course, if they run double nuke, they have Earth Power as well as Shadow Ball, which I think both are 55 energy moves, allowing it to not store two at the same time, which is really nice, unless it would run the bait move Sand Tomb, which is pretty rare, I feel like. But still, very good game there. Let's take a look at the next game. We're going to get out a Swampert here, which is going to be very nice for us. Safest play against Swampert with the Pelipper is just to go for the Weather Ball. While Hurricane would of course one-shot the opponent, Weather Ball is just the safest play because it's going to guarantee you to win this matchup here. And we are of course going to go for the guaranteed win for this matchup, as we're going to get the shield from the opponent. They're still going to go for their own charge move here, allowing us to go ahead and go for the full farm down maybe even. But they're going to swap out now into their Noctowl, allowing us to get into our own what's called our own Stunfisk, and maybe actually I should have went for Thundershock instead. I guess maybe Thundershock actually gives you the edge against Noctowl. I'm not really 100% sure about this one, but I guess it does. So maybe Thundershock is the better way to go for, because this matchup might be even a little bit more common than like any steel type matchup that you're still going to win anyway. So I feel like maybe Mudshot is not the best idea then, like now seeing the games afterwards, and maybe Thundershock might be a little bit better just for the Noctowl matchup. But yeah, you have to decide for yourself. Both have like their ups and downs there, like their benefits, and yeah, here you can see, for example, one benefit again afterwards, where we have the Mud Bomb or the Mud Shot against the LilyNiRiain Stunfisk, which is going to do super effective damage instead of double resisted damage. And that's going to be fine for us, as we're going to be able to take a move here with our Cresselia, going to be a Rock Slide. And let's take a look, they're going to forfeit this game here, and we're going to be able to win on this next one as well. Let's take a look at the next game coming up. Bastion in the lead, going to be amazing for us. They're going to swap out into a Medicham, and we will be able to now hardwall this opponent here with our Cresselia. Cresselia, honestly, as said, on the top 10 Pokemon to build for this Great League season, as well as for like the video about Cresselia, this Pokemon is just so insane right now. Like, going to be able to counter so many Pokemon is just so neutral against a lot of stuff. Here you're going to see me not throwing my charge move immediately. I hope that they're going to get me a little bit lower, because of course the opponent's Bastion can farm me all the way down now, and I have to realign my good friend Stunfisk against this Pokemon. So yeah, I'm going to try to still go for some Grass Knots here, of course, which is going to do some decent damage against them most likely. But as you're going to see here right now, the Grass Knot is going to do not a lot of damage, put them kind of maybe into range for one Mud Bomb plus the Mud Shot damage here. So that might be a benefit from it, but it doesn't really do too much here right now. Let's take a look at this. We're going to be able to go ahead and go into our Stunfisk here right now, and we're going to see here the shield coming up. No, we're going to no shield. This is going to be a Stone Edge. Why did they not go ahead and go for the other move? I went for the wrong move here, sadly, against the Victory Bell, but we can still swap out here and we can just spam those Weather Balls. And I think we're going to be able to get to 2 Weather Balls here, which is going to be very important for this matchup. As you're going to see, they're going to actually let the first move go through already, allowing us to shield up the move here from the opponent. Going to be a Leaf Tornado. I don't really care too much about it, but we're going to be able to now easily win this game, as they can get them even lower. We still have some health left on our Stunfisk there, not our LilyNiRiain Stunfisk, just a normal Stunfisk, and we even get to a Weather Ball here, putting them into farm down range for Mud Shot as well, which is going to be very nice for us. As we can see here, 2 more Mud Shots, going to be enough to knock out the opponent. Next opponent coming in, Swampert in the lead. Very bad for us, but we have 2 decent answers in the bag. And I make a mistake here. I actually thought that the opponent would not throw immediately, but they did throw immediately. But knowing this, I kind of feel like I'm just going to catch the next charge move then. And now I have a ton of energy on my Stunfisk, plus going to be able to catch a move on my Pelipper here, allowing me to now put them also into range for like nearly one Weather Ball only. But in comes now the Deoxys defense, which can be a little bit of a trickier one. Let's take a look at this one. We're going to see now the Hurricane landing here, which is really nice for us, and the Rock Slide going to knock us out. But we can go ahead, go for some Mud Bomb damage against them with our Stunfisk, and hopefully do some damage back, as they can try to farm them all the way down before they even get to another charge move. I am going to be able to catch a move on my Cresselia here against the Swampert, which is still going to do some decent damage. Now it's coming down to what they have in the back. I have to predict what they have in the back. Usually it's going to be a flying type Pokemon though, so maybe I'm fine. Let's take a look. It's going to be a Skarmory. That's not the flying type Pokemon that I want to see. And maybe I should have let the move go through as well, but like this, we're gonna get the attack drop though. Maybe we still have a chance here. It's going to be a little bit tricky. We kind of got hardwood the entire game though, so like I cannot really complain too much here, because like Swampert in the lead against a normal Stunfisk, as well as the Skarmory now against the Cresselia, is kind of an awkward one. I will be able to go for a discharge here right now against the opponent though. I didn't hit the one bubble, which actually hurts me a little bit here, I think, because I maybe actually would have been able to knock them out here completely with that extra bubble. And like this, it's going to be a tricky one to still win this game here, as they can still go for a Mud Bomb and still go for another Mud Bomb afterwards. But they now have enough energy that this is most likely going to be a little bit of a trickier one. Let's take a look at this one. As they go ahead and go for their Hydro Cannon, they can knock me out. I still have my Grass Knot here, I can knock them out. But I feel like this actually, the one bubble that I missed there with the electric move is actually going to cost me the game here, or not. Our Skarmory, or like not our Skarmory, our what's called Cresselia there, we're able to just win this there with like 1 HP left, which is wild. And you see already, like I won so many games with this one. Like this team was so insanely strong. I can highly recommend it to you. I don't even know if I lost the game so far in this video, so like I'm actually not really sure about that one. But yeah, this team is really, really good. Like, I love this team so much. I played this with a lot of fun. Still, even though we have some lag here right now, which is actually kind of weird, the lag that's happening in Pokemon Go right now. I tried to battle on an older phone today, and I had I had zero lag. Like, I don't know if it's just like a new phone's having some issues with Go Battle League right now, but maybe I just go back to my old phone that I had before. Because there's literally 0 frame drops that I had. So maybe it's also something for you if you have some frame drops as well the entire time. If you have other phones laying around, they might work a little bit better for Go Battle League at least, which is the case for me. Here we're going to see another Cresselia, which were able to debuff us, which actually really cost us a little bit here, I feel like. But we're still going to be able to farm them all the way down. We're going to get out the Swampert and the Talonflame. They have literally nowhere to go here right now. We can go for the Weather Ball, we can swap out, go for the Discharge, knock them out, and I don't really know what they try to do here right now, because it's going to be easily enough to knock them out. In comes the Swampert. We will be able to go for one Mud Bomb here right now, and it's going to be enough to put them into a range where we can even farm them down later on with our Pelipper if we want to, and that's exactly what we're going to do here, because you see already, the Wing Attack damage already is going to do too much damage against them, that I'm not really having to throw any move here anyway. I can just take those charge moves from the opponent as well, but they're going to go for another one. I'm just going to shield everything up, and they're going to lose with still 2 shields, so trainers, please use your shields. Let's take a look at the next game. We're going to encounter here the Stunfisk against Stunfisk matchup. That's going to be an interesting one, but my opponent actually going to stay in here as well. Let's see, who's the better Stunfisk? Let me know your guess in the comment section as well. Also, leave a like on the video if you haven't already. If you enjoy those videos about those new cool buffed Pokemon, please leave a like on the video. We're going to see the Earthquake coming in here, which is going to be very good for us, as this will get rid of a lot of the energy of the opponent, which allows us now to use another shield against them. It's going to be another Earthquake, and I will be able to reach another Mud Bomb here in time, doing some decent damage here. Super effective, and it's going to do a lot of damage, putting them into 2-shot range, and I can go ahead and farm up extra. And I guess it's kind of clear who is the better Stunfisk here right now, right? We were able to completely knock them out here, while still remaining some health on our own Stunfisk as well, which is going to be very nice, but not really that beneficial, I guess, because we still have the Azumarill here. I guess maybe we can still knock out the Azumarill later with that one. We will find out shortly, but we can go ahead and go for one Hurricane here. Go for another charge move here with our own Pelipper as well. Gonna put them here now into range where I can even go for another Weather Ball in order to knock them out. Is this enough to knock them out actually here? Let's take a look. It is. And now it's only the Obamas now here. They still have to kind of throw a charge move here. I can go for one Discharge in order to get some more damage onto them. And it's going to do some pretty decent damage actually. and we can just go ahead now after this one, go into our Cresselia, let the opponent know that we have one of the bulkiest Pokemon in the back there, and they're going to most likely forfeit after seeing this one, and they exactly do this here right now, so it's going to be a very good game. Final game for today's video. It's a little bit of a longer video, but like not that crazy long. Very decent lead for me. We're going to see now the 90 hits coming in here, which we can now retaliate with one discharge as well as the swap into the Cresselia. Cresselia now has a way better matchup because we chipped them a little bit already and now put them into range for one Moonblast, while we now will be able to, I don't think it actually does knock them out here, but we should be able to just farm them down afterwards. We even get the attack drop here, which is kind of unnecessary, but still going to help us out a little bit here because we can take those charge moves a little bit easier. Maybe even forcing the opponent's Noctowl to throw a charge move against us, because otherwise they might be even too low after those Moonblasts. But let's take a look. Do they want to farm us all the way down? They do not. And they're going to go ahead and go for their own charge move. Let's take a look at this. We're going to be able to go ahead and go into our Stunfisk here, go for a discharge eventually, but they actually were able to go for another charge move before I even threw mine. So this is not really ideal for us, but we can see now the Lantern coming in from the opponent, allowing us to go ahead and go for a Mud Bomb here, trying to get the damage onto the opponent. We have to stay in here, kinda. We have to definitely stay in. I don't want to have the Lantern against my Pelipper. And we will see now the damage from Mud Bomb after this one, because Mud Bomb going to do some pretty decent damage against the Lantern. It actually should be enough to two-shot the opponent here as well, with the additional damage of my fast move. So it's really like both are kinda needed, like either Thundershock or Mud Bomb. Like there are two matchups really that both of them kind of benefit. I guess Thundershock might be a little bit more neutral, but like this is going to be it most likely for today's video, because I think we're going to be able to win this final game here. As we're taking a Shadow Ball here right now, we're going to be able to go for another Weather Ball in order to knock out the opponent here, and this is going to be it for this game, as we can farm them down and they're going to forfeit this one. Good game there. This team is amazing. I can highly recommend it to you. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like on the video, subscribe if you haven't already. There are 2 videos on the screen right now, check them out, and I see you in the next one. Bye bye.